Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, and it's your host, Grady Hooker. We'll jump straight into this day in history, 13th of December. Back in 1965, there was a WWF Madison Square Garden show where Bruno Sammartino and Johnny Valentine teamed up to defeat the team of Dan and Bill Miller. In 1999, the Monday Night Wars raged on. On Raw, DX stood tall after the show, while on Nitro, the Outsiders stood tall. Two great tag teams in the history of wrestling. There were quite a few Raws. In 1993, in the main event, Bret Hart made the Brooklyn Brawler tap out. In 2004, the match ended in a brawl with Orton, Triple H, Batista, Chris Jericho, and Edge. And in 2010, it was the Slammy Awards Raw, which we're going to talk about a little bit. Michelle McCool got Diva of the Year, while John Cena got Superstar of the Year. There were a couple of pay-per-views as well. In 1989, NWA Starrcade. The pay-per-view was made up of Iron Man and Iron Team tournaments, which were won by Sting and the Road Warriors, respectively. 1998, WWF Rock Bottom. Stone Cold defeated The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match for a spot in the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And just recently, 2009, there was a WWE TLC show. And the main event was a TLC match for a Unified Championship. Sound familiar? DX defeated Jericho for the Unified Tag Team Championships. We'll jump into the classic entrance theme of the week. It's the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And you're back, Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, and live via Skype right now. I got Josh.
Howdy.
Raw started off with CM Punk coming out and calling out the Authority, believing they were behind the Shield ambushing him.
Well, I'd have to believe they were, but according to the Director of Operations, the DOO, they had nothing to do with it.
No, but he did. Kane surprisingly set the handicap match, all of the Shield on CM Punk at TLC.
Yeah, that seems to be continuing the theme of handicap matches.
Yeah. Which we'll jump to now. Daniel Bryan was a little pissed at Kane as Kane set another 3-on-1 handicap match. This time it was Daniel Bryan versus all of the Wyatts.
I'm going to call it now. One of Punk and Bryan are going to win their handicap match.
I think they'd have to, otherwise it would be a bit boring to see a very similar match with the exact same outcome.
Yep.
So,
and I'm leaning towards Daniel Bryan being the one that wins.
I don't know, I could see CM Punk winning to set up the Shield's fall.
Yeah.
Either way,
and how they want to do it, but there's a possibility that they could spin this off as them trying to be one of each other, and eventually leading to a possible WrestleMania match.
Fair enough. Well, the first match on Raw was a number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler took on Damien Sandow.
Another good match. It was short. This one was short, though.
Yeah.
But it gives us Big E versus Damien Sandow for the Intercontinental Championship.
Two of the younger stars on the roster.
Yep.
Okay.
Although Sandow's been in the WWE prior to his Sandow gimmick.
Fair enough. The next match, Natalya teamed with the Bella Twins to take on Summer Rae, AJ Lee, and Tamina Snuka.
And we got a Divas Championship match out of this match.
We also got a lot of skipping out of this match.
Yeah.
I gotta admit.
AJ's time as Divas Champion is coming to an end.
Of course you'd say that, Natalya fan number 27.
I've been saying that for 3 months now, so I kind of can't go against what I've been saying.
Fair enough. They're numbered. They just got like another 100 more. Up next was one of the weirder segments that I'm not really happy with. Bad News Barrett.
At least he's back on TV.
I think at this point I'd prefer him to not be back on TV.
Well, at least they're trying something with him.
Over
It could be worse. He could be Drew McIntyre in a jobber group.
Yeah, but over Raw and SmackDown, we got 4 Bad News Barrett segments. And I think exactly 0 of them were entertaining.
They even changed his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is now Bad News Barrett. It's no longer Wade Barrett.
I'm just going to skip over this now. Randy Orton met Brad Maddox backstage and said that he was bigger than the WWE.
Yeah, shocking to see Brad Maddox back after that beatdown he got a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he is a wrestler.
Yeah, but I mean, he got carted out in a stretcher.
True. The next match, Daniel Bryan took on Eric Rowan and actually won.
This was a great match, and I was really impressed by what Eric Rowan did in the match.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Eric Rowan. It's normally Luke Harper that we're seeing, and it was great to see a bit of a switch up.
Yeah, and the only problem I really had with the match was the end when clearly somebody wasn't thinking when they thought of the match ending, with Rowan trying to kick Daniel Bryan whose head is about 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
That didn't work, didn't look good, but the match was great, and I was impressed by Eric Rowan.
Okay. Next up,
we get a really good promo by Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Trying to convince Daniel Bryan to join the Wyatt family. Up next, Truth and Xavier took on Tons of Funk.
Okay. We've been making fun of Eva Marie for her awful roll-up a few weeks ago. Xavier Wood took the cake on that one. That was an absolutely terrible roll-up.
He did have to roll up Brodus Clay. But
yeah, that was just bad.
Yeah, at the end of this match, we definitely saw some friction between Brodus Clay and Tensai.
Yeah, I think we're fixing to finally get that monster Brodus Clay that people have been wanting for a year and a half.
I think the second Brodus Clay goes monster, Tensai is buggered.
No, I think Tensai will just assume the Tons of Funk gimmick by himself.
I don't know if he can hold it on his own.
Well, he seems to be better in a comedic role in the WWE. I mean, even if you go back to the stuff he did as Albert.
Yeah.
He was better as a comedic character.
Fair enough.
So I think this gimmick has worked for him, at least, in keeping him relevant. And I think he'll probably try to carry it on. Okay.
Well, the next match, Sin Cara, or should I say Hunico, defeated Alberto Del Rio.
Everybody was shocked when Sin Cara defeated Alberto Del Rio, because we thought, well, there's just another squash match.
Yeah.
But then he won, and we're like, whoa. And then we found out, oh, it was Hunico under the mask, because the real Sin Cara was in Mexico eating dinner.
Fair enough.
That pretty much spells the end for Mystico, who was the wrestler that was under the mask.
Yeah.
And it gives a restart on Hunico and the Sin Cara gimmick, which is a good thing.
Definitely. John Cena, he says he wants to be the unified champion. I think we're hearing a lot of these words. You said a few weeks back we haven't heard unified, but I think WWE are definitely pushing unified now.
Yeah, that's because they figured out very quickly. Everybody figured out what the plan was. The plan was to swap the titles.
Yeah.
And they figured out very quickly, everybody knows that's what's going to happen. So now they're trying to figure out another way to do the plans and stuff. I suspect there's like 100% on a 100% scale. I suspect 5% chance John Cena takes the titles, 10% chance Randy Orton takes both of them, a 40% chance that they end up with the same championship that they walked in with, a 15% chance that somebody other than the two combatants in the ring walk out with with one of the championships, or both, and a 1% chance that Triple H screws everybody and says, "I'm the champion."
You got 29 more percent.
And 29% of who knows what the hell they're going to do.
Alex Riley wins. Okay. The Shield cut a little promo before their match with the Rhodes Brothers and Big Show.
Yeah, and the seeds are being planted for their breakup.
Yeah.
That is definitely, and the promo on SmackDown definitely.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but the Shield days are numbered. They had a quite good match with the Rhodes Brothers and Big Show.
Well, of course they did. They're the Shield.
Fair enough, we'll just move on then. CM Punk. CM Punk feels pretty.
I would have been disappointed when he delivered the line that he felt pretty if he hadn't sung the song.
Fair enough. It was poking fun a bit. But the next match, Kofi Kingston and The Miz tried to put their checkered past behind them to take on Ryback and Curtis Axel.
And we continue the destruction of whatever's going on between Kofi and Miz, while at the same time we're starting to build up a new tag team called Rybaxel.
Yeah, there's some horrible names. I think I preferred Axback.
In the air boom.
True. Straight after though, probably one of the funnier WWE Shop promos, Los Matadores.
I didn't pay much attention during the segment.
No. Come on, you got El Torito. You can't go bad with a little bull.
Yeah, I think they've started to kill my interest by the fact that they have beaten nobody but 3MB.
Okay. I think, did they beat the Real Americans?
They beat the Real Americans back at the at Hell in a Cell.
Well, there we go.
But really, the only other opponent they've had is 3MB.
Fair enough.
Regardless of what gimmick the 3MB were using at the time.
Okay, well, up next, Fandango took on Mark Henry.
Oh, boy. You knew things were not going to go well for Fandango there.
I think the odds would have been like 1-1 on Mark Henry.
Yeah, it would have been Mark Henry 99.9%, Fandango 1.001.
Chance of Mark Henry dancing?
Turns out to be 100%.
Yeah, he sort of hedged back to his sexual chocolate days and just danced.
It was funny to see.
Up next, though, we got a tag team match. The Primetime Players took on the Real Americans.
And they're starting to tease the breakup from Antonio Cesaro and the Real Americans.
He definitely went ahead with the Cesaro swing when everybody told him no.
Yeah, he said, no, Zeb. Zeb didn't want to do it. Kept on mimicking the act of throwing up. And then the crowd's going, do it. And he's like, okay. And starts swinging Titus O'Neil.
Okay. Well, talking about tag teams, we'll jump into the current entrance theme of the week. It's the Rhodes Brothers. And you're back, Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. Grady and Josh will jump in. The main event segment of Raw, there was the contract signing for the Cena-Orton match at TLC.
Yeah. At one point during this, it kind of felt like John Cena went total shoot mode on Randy Orton.
Yeah. He was definitely talking about his backstage habits and stuff.
Yeah.
But the WWE app decided with a poll that the champion should be called the Unified Champion.
Makes sense. I probably would have went with the Undisputed World Champion if I was going to vote in the poll.
Okay. Well, we'll jump over to SmackDown. Randy Orton apologized to the Authority.
I've been a bad boy. I'm sorry. That's what it amounted to.
Fair enough. Then we had a match between Fandango and Big E Langston.
Furthering the partnership between Big E and Mark Henry.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much knew there was no chance of Fandango, especially with Big E being a relatively new champion and already having a number one contender, that he was going to lose the match.
Up next, the new team of Ryback and Curtis Axel actually knocked off the tag team champs.
Yeah. We could have a four-way tag team match at the pay-per-view for the championship. And Ryback could be part of the match.
I think we've been saying that for a little while now, the Fatal 4-Way thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, up next, Alberto Del Rio, sort of. He didn't win the match, because the match never started, but he definitely won the brawl.
Yeah, he took it out on poor Kofi Kingston.
Poor Kofi. Then this is the Shield promo we were talking about. They're definitely not a happy family.
No, there's definitely something wrong between them. I kind of expect the actual breakup to occur at the Royal Rumble.
I thought you were leading towards a 3-on-3 at WrestleMania.
Doesn't seem to be the way that they're going because of the fact that they split Punk and Bryan off in different directions.
True. It's one of these things we'll just have to wait and see, but Roman Reigns definitely seemed to be talking himself up before Dean Ambrose came out and sort of blew up the whole thing.
Yeah. Which leads me to think that if any one of the three goes to be a good guy, it's likely to be Reigns.
Yeah, I think that the two I can see coming out of this angle the best is definitely Reigns and Ambrose. I think Rollins has floated in the angle a little bit and hasn't shone as much, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, he right now, if I had to guess, I would say Reigns has the look of a champion, of a main event star, and he has the pedigree behind him. I would say he is the most likely to be the biggest star. Dean Ambrose would probably be the biggest villain from the three.
Yeah.
But may not necessarily be the biggest star. And then Rollins looks like a mid-carder to me right now.
I've seen some of Rollins' stuff when he was back on NXT. He's definitely got the talent. I don't know why he isn't showing out in front of these two.
It may just be a limit on him. Or it could be that he just hasn't been giving the proper opportunity. Because a lot of the things we just said was said about the most popular wrestler on the roster today.
True. Okay, well, yeah, CM Punk did have a match with Dean Ambrose, and he absolutely obliterated Dean Ambrose.
Yep, and the Shield was nowhere to be seen.
Okay, well, up next, Rey Mysterio.
That was the telling thing of it.
Okay. Rey Mysterio had an interview, but then the Real Americans invaded the interview and challenged him to a match.
Yeah, apparently they're questioning his championships because they think he's illegal.
Yeah, and when you call Ray illegal, he brings out Big Show to be his partner.
Yep. Which then pretty much spelled the doom on the Real Americans, but I think I was like everybody else. I want to see him swing the Big Show.
Yeah, quite depressed we didn't get it. Jumping back, we got a Divas match where Natalya got lucky against Tamina Snuka.
Yeah, it's like, apparently Tamina's the placeholder for this whole feud. In other words, you can't touch AJ, so we'll just give you Tamina.
Yeah, Natalya can't touch AJ. Skills-wise, charisma-wise.
I'll give you charisma-wise.
Yes! I win one.
But,
Now that, we'll just move on. The Funkadactyls did a WWE Shop promo.
it was entertaining. I still think Mick Foley's was the best, though.
Okay. I think it was actually quite a good video package. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship montage.
Yeah, they did they've been doing a lot of video packages surrounding the two championships and what it meant to the people who have held them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then we got, in the main event, we had Randy Orton taking on Daniel Bryan.
And Randy Orton won.
Only because the Wyatt family distracted.
But it was a fine match. The two are good wrestlers. They have good chemistry. It was fine.
Okay. You didn't think it was a match we'd seen enough times before?
Yeah, it felt more like it was further in Bryan's battles than it was to do anything for Randy Orton, who is supposed to be the WWE champion in the face of the company.
Fair enough. Okay, well, it's been great talking to you, Josh.
It's been great being on again.
And in birthdays this week, WWE Hall of Famer class of 2004, the Junkyard Dog, passed away in 1998. The Ravishing One, Rick Rude, passed away in 1999. The original Diva Sunny turns 41. The ECW original Sabu turns 49. The gold medalist Kurt Angle turns 45. Well, there are quite a few current WWE ones as well. The WWE commentator Michael Cole turns 45. JTG turns 29. The Master of the 619 Rey Mysterio turns 39. And member of the Shield Dean Ambrose turns 28. In a New Zealand recap, this past weekend we had IPW Nightmare Before Xmas, quite a controversial show. In the opening bout, Evie managed to defeat Brittany and Olivia Shaw in an elimination match for the IPW Women's Championship. Well, in the next match, Joel Clementson and Pirate Burns defeated the debuting Hush and Liger, but straight after that, Liger tried to attack the both of them, but Joel's brother, the New Zealand Dream, returned to save him. In the next match, Mason Daniels defeated Khan after Brittany distracted him. The IPW Tag Team Championships were on the line. TNT finally managed to knock off the Agents of Change, but right after, TNT got screwed by an immediate rematch where TK Cooper got handcuffed to the turnbuckle and, yeah, didn't turn out too well. The Agents of Change won back their titles that night. In the next bout, James Shaw managed to defeat Armageddon Cup champ Kurt Chaos when he tapped out to the stretch muffler. In the main event, the most controversial of the lot, the IPW Championship and Fans Bring the Weapons match, Vinnie Dunn defeated Travis Banks thanks to this new faction called The Investment. They interfered quite a bit. The Investment is Evie, who surprisingly turned on the fans. The old handsome Danny Jacobs, I think he goes under Daniel Bernal now. We got Kurt Chaos, Pat Shisk, the IPW Tag Team Champions, Agents of Change, sorry. Vinnie Dunn. It's just everybody who's big in IPW all jammed together into one big team. So that's it for this week. You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling R Radio, or you can visit our new website. It's in testing at the moment, just seeing out how it's going to look, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. So I'll see you next week.